What movie will you always recommend to people? The Goonies. My mom and her boyfriend watched it, and I decided to join. Absolute masterpiece. Oldie but goodie. My cousin Vinny. A stone cold classic, and Joe Pesci and Marisa Tomei's chemistry is brilliant. Edit. Well, I guess a lot of people also like this film. That was my dad's favorite movie and he would watch it every time he could. For his last birthday, before he passed, I bought it for him on DVD, and now every year on his birthday I watch it and just laugh and cry thinking about the times we had when I was young. It's such a good movie. This is dead on balls accurate. The Matrix. Hands down my favorite movie, something I always tell people to watch. ! Secondhand Lions. Hell yes. Michael Caine and Robert Duvall are amazing. The kid is a little stiff, heck. His previous role was literally a robot, but the brothers more than make up for it. I love this film. Yes. Such an underrated movie. Just had my kids watch it for the first time. I hadn't watched it in years. Seriously so great. The bonus features in the DVD, if I recall correctly, have the full "what every boy needs to hear to be a man" speech. A Knight's Tale. It's not the most popular movie, but it's just a fun movie that is an absolute pleasure to watch. Heathers. You start off thinking it's a shitty teenage rom-com about typical high school problems, and then 30 minutes and you realize you were terribly wrong and people are now getting killed. Dear Diary, my teen angst bullcrap now has a body count. I love my dead gay son! ! The number of times I have said, "Fuck me gently" with a chainsaw and no one knew WTF I was talking about. Pure embarrassment. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the perfect action movie for me. The intro to Indiana Jones in the jungle is perfect, even with little dialogue. The pacing is great, the characters are solid, the humor is natural, the environments are diverse, and the music is unforgettable. Just an awesome, fun time. I do like the argument that Indy is completely irrelevant to the plot of the movie. The Nazis will open the Ark anyway and all kill themselves without Indy's involvement. 12 Angry Men. The film is over 60 years old and it still holds up so well. I know that movie is good because I watched it as a 13-year-old little shit in school and still enjoyed it. I used that film when going over the judicial system, when I taught US Gov to juniors in high school. That is such a powerful movie. All my students truly learned a lot from it, including human nature. Clue. It's a premise that hasn't worked since, with a stellar comedic cast and great writing. The fact they made 3 or more endings for the same movie and all of them could make sense is a testament to the writing. Plus it's infinitely quotable. Edit. I've seen Knives Out and think it's also a great movie. The acting and writing was very good. Murder by Death is one I keep meaning to see, but never seem to get around to. In regards to the part about the premise, I meant that Clue is the only movie based on a board game that worked. Edit 2. To all the people saying Jumanji, that was a book first, then a movie, then a board game. Same for Zathura. I just watched it last weekend for the first time and absolutely loved it, so I showed it to my 7-9-year-olds and they loved it. They really liked Tim Curry mannerisms, especially the double negative scene. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Years ago I was reading the memoirs of an actor from the earlier days of film. I don't recall who it was, probably one of the Marx brothers. Anyway, one thing he said was that in that time it was known that when you needed a really good dramatic actor, not a rock-jawed leading man or bombshell leading lady type, but someone who would make the audience feel, you went out and hired the best comedian you could find. Coming to America. The royal dong is clean, your highness. Thank you king shit. Fuck you too. Goodfellas. Every effing scene is flawless. It's the master at his best. Shawshank Redemption. I read something once that described this movie as one of the few male platonic love stories that exist in cinema, and I think that's part of the appeal. To me, the best part of the movie was Indy and Red's friendship. It was so pure and real. The Truman Show. Truman, I want to be an EXPLORER**. Teacher, oh, you're too late. There's nothing left to explore. It's such a well-crafted movie, just so many little details to catch on rewatches. Like how he's told people are very sick when they need some vacation time, or how his doctor has him taking vitamin D because no sunlight in the dome. My favorite is when the light falls from the sky, it says Sirius on it, because that is the light they use to simulate that specific star in the night sky. Your name. Beautiful animation, great story, and an amazing soundtrack. It'll be my favorite movie for a long time. I've never really watched any anime before, not because I don't like it, but just because I never had time to really get into it. Me and a friend were up late one night and he wanted to watch a movie, so he showed me Your Name, and holy shit did I cry several times. The movie is fantastic, and I highly recommend it to everyone, no matter your interests. Any Ghibli movie. Spirited Away. I wish I could purge it from my memory, so I could experience the first time watching this awesome movie once more. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, though I don't expect anyone to have never seen those, and if such people exist, I do not expect them to have enjoyed life very well. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Who are you who is so wise in the ways of science? Well, he hasn't got shit all over him. Now go away, or I shall taunt you a second time. Back to the Future. Anyone who can't find joy in bttf has failed at life. It's funny, creative, entertaining, and has one of my favorite movie scores of all time. Emperor's New Groove. Easily the best movie Disney has ever produced, not to mention the spectacular jokes. Every character is amazing, and I will recommend this movie until the day I die. Edit. Turns out the movie is from Disney and not Pixar. Sorry about that. Edit 2. Thank you so much, kind strangers that gave me awards. I love you all. Patrick Warburton as Kronk steals this movie. Talking to squirrels squeak, squeak squeak squeaker has me rolling every time. I watched this movie like 4 times on a vacation with my at the time young niece. Did not mind rewatching it even one of those times. Movie is one of Disney's best. That movie is quotable as hell. Rango. It's actually a really good western with a compelling cast of characters and a good moral. Everyone is the main character of their own story, and no man can walk out of his. Office Space. I enjoyed the silly humor and over-the-top soundtrack as a kid. Now I work in a sea of cubicles for a faceless corporation, and can relate on every level. Aside from the operating system you briefly see on computer screens, it's incredible how relevant everything about that type of job still is more than 20 years later. So I was sitting in my cubicle today, and I realized, ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life. What about today? Is today the worst day of your life? Yay. Wow, that's messed up. Groundhog Day. Just an amazing movie on how people can change for the better. If you have 100 years to do it, try 10,000 years. I was going to say that it is a lot more than 100 years. I read an article once that analyzed how long he had been stuck in the time loop based partially off the idea that it takes 10,000 hours to become proficient at certain things. My memory isn't 100% on the movie, but I do remember that he learned to play the piano and ice sculpt when he was stuck in the loop.